morning from Northwest Wyoming. Last couple days we've had a lot of rain, but it's trying to break up. Tomorrow's supposed to be really nice. It is definitely springtime in the Rockies. You can see behind me I've got a couple of crabapple trees here that are starting to open up and bloom. I'm going to take you around, show you the pears, take you to see where the currants and gooseberries are all starting to open up and flower. Also take you over to the other plums and our pears as well. So quickly show you how much rain we've got. Our soil typically doesn't hold water unless we've had a lot of rain. It's pretty sandy, so typically any kind of rain we get will just kind of just saturate in the ground really quickly and disappear. But we got so much rain that we have pretty good puddles and standing water. So we'll take a look at that. Then I'll take you and show you the fruit trees that are all blooming and starting to open up, which really makes me happy. And then we'll go over and we'll calibrate this scale, check it, verify it. We'll run a couple of the cow and the calf across it and see how it does. And from there, we'll check cows and come back. I got a lot of things I got to get done today. I've got to clean out the beehive that I've got ready. We should be receiving a nook of bees here, not a nook, I'm sorry. We should be receiving bees and a queen and everything here within a couple of days. So I need to have that house prepared for them to receive them. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff. I got to get some trees planted today. I've got to get my raised beds, my new ones, built, put together, and put in the right location. I've got a bunch of spraying I got to do because we're starting to get weeds everywhere, and I really need to get those knocked down. So let's get to work. All right, as I said, we typically don't have puddles of any sort. We just don't maintain water. Our soil is very porous and usually just drains right away. But you can see we've got a lot of water just kind of standing out here. This will probably be gone by tomorrow. It'll be a little muddy here for a bit, but it'll be gone by tomorrow. Just pointing out how much rain we've had. So let's go take a look at these plum trees. I can't convey to you how wonderful they smell. But man, they're super fragrant. These plums are just beautiful. So let's go take a look. All right, these are the golden currants, which are actually really an interesting currants. They are actually a very small berry, and the berry is almost a translucent orange. Think of like a tangerine or an orange itself or something like that. Maybe a little lighter, a little more golden, but they're a very interesting currant. These are our gooseberries, and they're starting to come back really nicely as well. We've got another gooseberry right there coming back really nicely. So those are really nice. They are larger, more like that's the size of a blueberry, but they're entirely different in color. They're almost a greenish color. So they're very nice. I can smell the plums from here. Let's take a look. All right, this is the plum that's actually opened up the most. Looks like we've dropped some flowers already, but it's opening up really nicely. And I just can't tell you how fragrant they are. They're very nice. Across the way here, it's going to be difficult to see because of the wire. So you can see this one as well. This is a different type, which is a pollinator, and it's just about to open as well. This is the same type right here. And then we have another one right here that's a pollinator as well. So that's going to open, and it's going to cross-pollinate that. Those will all three cross-pollinate, and they'll pollinate this as well. So we have this plum, those plums, and then we've got some others around the other side of the house. So we'll go take a look at that. So again, these are the crab apples. You can see the pink flowers are just starting to get there. They're not quite open yet here. I'll try to catch those in a couple of days when they're opened further. They'll be really pretty as well. So anyway, let's go check those pears and plums. All right, this is our biggest pear tree, and you can see the flowers haven't quite opened yet. They're just getting to the point where they open up. These aren't super fragrant, which is it's not a big deal, but it just makes them a little more difficult for them to be located as far as like the bees and that kind of thing. But the bees will find everything. But you can see it's just about to open up, and everything's going to be really pretty really quickly. So I believe that the bees will get here the 2nd or 3rd, somewhere right there of May. So it's going to turn out pretty good, I think. Anyway, let me go and get the beehive kind of cleaned out and prepared, and take care of the calibration on that scale, and take a look at all the cows and the calves and everybody else. I was just going to show you really quickly. I said recently that I was going to try to show you a little bit more of what my wife has got going on for ducks. This is a breeding group right here. You can see the drake right here in the center. Um, these are all what I would call pastels. I don't know what she would call them. I'm sure there's a more specific name, but their colors are very much, they're very soft colors, and very pastel. They're almost like, these ones would almost be like a snowy pastel. But this is the houses we've got for them. I built these. You can laugh if you like, but everything I build is like super heavy duty. These things weigh a ton, obviously way more than necessary, but we don't want want raccoons or anybody getting in there, or weasels or any of the other culprits that would love to eat the ducks. So we've got to this one. It's obviously it's a what I would call a duplex. This is what we call the duplex. So we got these couple of breeding groups in here, and everything they need. All right, let's move on. All right, we're down here with the cows. I'm going to really try not to make this part of the video very long. I've got quite a few things that I want to catch today. I know I've already gotten some other video of the different trees and that kind of thing that we've got. Additionally, I did want to say that we also have apple trees, and as I said, we've got black currants, and obviously I grow the garden and that kind of thing. Um, but I didn't show you the apples because they're not quite ready to come out and flower yet. We've got several different kind of apples, a Macintosh, a Honeycrisp, a couple different crab apples and that kind of thing. But I'm going to try not to make the cow portion of this video very long, because I've already got a bunch of video in there. You can see it's trying to break up on us today a little bit. It's supposed to be nice and warm tomorrow, so we're going to get out here, get some things done, and then move on to the calibration and checking that scale. All right, first thing I had to do is strip that doggone coat off. It's plenty warm just standing here. We don't have a breeze or anything, but in the Jeep traveling over here, I had to kind of put that coat on. It's a little bit brisk in that breeze. So anyhow, we'll take a look at these guys here and then move on. All right, of course, that is the crown prince. That is the crown prince right there. He's just standing up. He was laying down. He's probably enjoying that sun. So, all right, I won't take too much of him. I got to get moving on. So here we go. Okay, I kind of spoke about this the other day. A lot of times what I'll do, and it's in other videos and that kind of thing, is a lot of times what I'll do is I'll put out some buckets here and I'll give these guys some grain. What that has created is that when I come out and I stand out here, they will come to me, which makes my life much easier. I don't have to go prancing all over the pasture here trying to find these guys. They will see me, and they'll start to come out here thinking that maybe I've got something for them. So you can see how beneficial that is in itself. You can see they've kind of fed off after they got fed here, and so I've been lucky in that they're trying to come up here and see if maybe I've got a little something for them. So looks like these guys, better check that one. Looks like these guys are all in good shape here. So I'm going to just kind of wander through the herd quickly and continue moving on. Something I do that makes things a little easier is you'll notice that I generally don't walk directly at the animals. I'll kind of walk in a direction toward them, but I'll kind of walk in this direction. That gives the animal a chance to decide whether I'm chasing them or not. If I'm not moving directly towards them, they won't feel threatened and they won't really worry about it. Now, my animals most of the time aren't worried about it. Nonetheless, once in a while, if you're moving directly at them, especially in a fast pace, they will feel threatened and they'll move away from you. So I'll try to walk this direction, although she's kind of feeding toward me anyway. And from there, I'll get next to him. You can see her looking. And we'll just get a look at her, and she's doing just fine. But you'll see that she doesn't feel threatened or anything like that. So it's just something that you might consider if you end up with horses or cows or whatever. Horses are notorious that if you walk up directly towards them, even if they're the kindest animal in the world, what they will do is they will run to the farthest part of the pasture because they don't want to go to work. So what you have to do is you have to carry a little grain or something like that to kind of rattle the can and coax them in a little bit. But it's just something that I found beneficial over time, that helps, so your animals don't run from you. They'll kind of move toward you or stay put. All right, we're going to cross the creek here and got to find a decent spot. All right. Hi, babe. So same thing. I'm not walking directly towards her, and she is actually getting close. This little heifer, 16-1, is starting to get pretty close, so I need to keep a really close eye on her. Definitely come back and check this evening. These girls, old mamas. So I'm not worried too much about the mamas. I will check them, all 13. But they've been calving so long, they can pretty well take care of themselves. Hi, 13. All right. I'm trying to hold true to my promise here and not go on and on, yammering on about the cows here. So check these guys. They'll look good. Hi, 16-1. And that's it. We'll take a look at these other girls and then we'll get out of here and go take care of what we got to take care of. All right, we're down here at the cow calf, obviously. And it's nice because you can see that now when I show up, they're right here at the gate. They want to greet me. And you can see why. They get a couple little treats. And so they're greeting me rather than me having to wait for them or anything like that. They're right here looking forward to me being here. Mama, settle. Settle down. Settle down. This is going to help me today because what I'm going to do is once I get this scale calibrated, I'm going to work them into this little section, the small section over here, and then I'm going to walk them through one by one, and I'm going to verify their weight against what I suspect that their weight should be. Saddle, you crazy girl. But just by building this little bit of trust, hi babe, you can see that now rather than being standoffish when I stand here and that kind of thing, they come right to me and they're standing right here. So this is just one of the benefits of building that trust and working with them over time. So what I was just explaining kind of goes hand in hand with what I showed you out there in the pasture. This is helpful for me because now when I show up, they come to me rather than me having to go chase them out in the pasture. They're going to be right here. They're going to come to me rather than me having to go to the far ends of the pasture or whatever to check, make sure they're good. If they're going to calve, I don't have to chase them as much. Like the other day, there were several times that the cows were at the far end of the pasture. I wasn't too overly concerned about them at that point in time. But here pretty quickly, I'm going to start just giving them grain on a regular basis, and they're going to start coming to me. Even from the far end of the pasture, they'll come to me because they know that they're going to get a little free treat. So it's just something that works out beneficially in that aspect, time aspect, going out after them and that kind of thing. And it does build that trust and help with the relationship between me and the cows. So interestingly enough, the gate is closed here. You can see that. We chain this up over here. But what happens is typically it'll be 14-1, but it's not always him. What he'll do is he'll flip that chain, and then the gate gets closed. And this time it's trapped in 16-2 and 17-2. This actually is going to work out. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. I don't have anything. I know. I don't taste very good. I don't have anything. But it actually works out pretty good because as long as this thing calibrates well and everything goes as planned, I was hoping that I could run a couple of these yearlings through as well to kind of get an idea of what they weigh. Looking at them, I have an idea of what I think they weigh, but I would like to know what they come out to on the scale. So this may work out to my benefit here. I didn't have to work to chase them in here or get a couple off or whatever. I've got two that are in here, willing participants. maybe not quite so willing, but they'll work out in the long run here. We'll get these guys run through and we'll see how it goes.
Let's calibrate.
Walking over to calibrate here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these gates. I really like these gates. I can literally stand into the lead up, walk here, open up the gates. They roll really well. Same thing, this goes directly into the chute. I roll it out of the way and now I'm in the chute itself. I've got a couple of doors here for doctoring. These are going to be super helpful when it comes time to pull a calf or preg test, palpate, do anything we've got to do. I have full access. The cow will be held in this forward section and I'll have access on both sides, as will my wife. We'll have access on both sides to open and close the gates. There's a bar that will go directly across right here, holding the cow in that forward section. And we will have access to the rear of the animal itself and be able to do anything we need. Okay, the calibration for this USA measurement scale is pretty straightforward. You turn the machine on, and when you do, it's going to kind of cycle right here. It'll cycle from 10 down to 1. And when it does that, you'll have to hit both the hold and the unit print at the same time, and it'll go into the calibration mode. Because I was yammering away and talking, I missed it, so I'm going to turn it back off. I'm going to turn it on, and then I'm going to hit those, and it goes into the calibration mode. You can see, I don't know if you can see or not, I guess, but it'll say calibration, so I'm going to hit hold. F5.6 is the programming mode that we're going to use. Decimal places, it says DP, and I've got that set to 0. We're not trying to get any kind of tenths or hundredths of how much our cows, calves, yearlings weigh. So I'm going to hit hold again. In the divisions is going to be 1, that meaning that it can be measured to the 1 pound, 5 pound, 10 pound, whatever. 1 pound is fine. We're just going to hit hold again. The capacity, it's going to say cap. The scale is set for, it's a 10,000 pound scale. So we're going to continue on. We're going to make sure that, yes, it says 10,000 pounds. That's accurate. So we're going to hit hold again. Next is going to be load. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter the amount of the load. So I'm going to adjust that down to what I think that it needs to be. It's just going to be my weight. So I've already kind of got that set in there. And next thing I'm going to do is hit hold again. So the calibrate is on. Then I'm going to hit hold, and then it's going to tell me basically to put a load, no load. Then I'm going to click it again. It's going to say add load. So now I'm going to just set that there. I'm going to step inside. I'm going to hit hold again. And it says calibration end. I'm going to hit hold. It's going to cycle through 1 to 10, and then it's going to finish right there. So now what I'm going to do is turn the machine off. Now I'm going to step back outside. I'm going to turn it back on. I'm not going to hit the calibration button this time, or calibration. Okay, it's going to be reading 0. It's right at 0 or 1. So now what I'm going to do is hold it there. I'm going to step inside, and it should give me my weight. And it's very, very close to what I just gave, within just a couple of pounds. If I stand here, let's see, still within a couple of pounds. I'm here, within a couple of pounds. So this thing is what I would say is very, very close, and we'll see how well this does. I'm going to step back off. Check the 0. I'm going to 0 it again. Okay, and then I'm going to step back on. And it's very close to what it should be reading. So I'm going to step off. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the cow-calf pair into the end over here, and then what I'm going to do is work them through one at a time and see how close it is. All right, so I'm going to try to push these guys in here real easy. Come on, Mama. You're all right, babe. You're all right. There you go. They've been in there a couple of times. You can see, nonetheless, you can see that this heifer, no. Oh, you bugger. Nonetheless, you can see that heifer does not like being pushed anywhere. She's always kind of been like this, which is just fine. Come on, babe. You're all right. You're all right, Mama. You're all right. Come on. Come on. There you go. All right. Now I'm going to open these gates, hoping that she'll lead in there really easily. She should. I'm going to turn this video off. And then I think I'm going to try to get a different perspective. Hopefully we can get something that's decent here. All right, let's see if we can get that view right there. See if we can't get her in there and get her settled down and just get a good weight on her real quick. You're all right, Mama. You're all right, babe. There you go. All right. You're all right, babe. Hi, little baby. You okay? You're okay. You're all right, Mama. You're okay. All right. So I'm going to give her just a little bit of a squeeze. Not much. I don't need to stress her out. Okay, I'm going to allow her forward into this head catch just to kind of balance her weight. There you go, babe. There you go. All right, we're not trying to hurt her, scare her. That's just going to balance the weight. I expected her to be about 1,000 pounds, and it looks like she's about 1,120. And I'll call that a really good weight, and I'm really happy with that. All right, so I'm going to let her out of there. She may or may not knock that camera over. There she goes. All right. So now what I'm going to do is close this again. I'm going to squeeze this a little bit so that the calf can get in there without being able to turn around. I'm just going to check our zero. Zero's good. We'll try to run the little calf right through there. Try to move this in. So Mama right now is really upset, primarily because her baby is not in here and she can't see her. This is actually really good for both her and the baby. It gets them a little more accustomed to this, getting used to the system, and losing fear of it. You could see that once she was in there, although she was moving around a little bit, she wasn't terribly distraught. So we'll move this little heifer in there. Hi, baby. Hi, little milk face. Hi, baby. All right. There you go. There you go. Come on. All right. And you can see the same thing with her. She's not distraught. She's not freaking out. She doesn't want to be in there, of course. But she's doing just fine. So what I'm going to do is the same thing. I'm going to give her a little more squeeze. You're all right. There you go. Get your head to Okay. She is clearly not as used to this as her mama is. And I don't have her squeezed well. There we go. That's a little better, babe. All right. Get a look. Saddle. Okay, I think what I've got right now is I've got her forward. There we go. She's more in the center now. So we'll see what that says now. That is reading quite a bit off, and I'm not sure exactly why. Move forward, Ben. Move forward, Ben. You're all right. Come on. Come on. There you go. All right. That is, it's reading quite a bit more than I would expect, but we'll do it again and we'll take a look. I may have to calibrate this again. What I've got to do is figure out where it's going to work the best as far as weight. When I put myself in there, I didn't stand in the same position she is standing. So I've just got to figure out what is best for the system itself. So I'll try that again. Additionally, it'll be a lot easier if I had a little more weight. I don't really have any, I guess I do have a bag of grain I could probably put in there with myself, and that may help as well. So let's see. All right, one thing I did do that was not on camera right there was in between, I've given them a couple of treats. This is really stressful for them, but I want them to know I'm not hurting them. I'm not attacking them. I'm not doing anything like that. We're just going through a process, which is not too big a deal. And I just want them to know that I'm not going to hurt them, and that even after the process, they can still be comfortable with me, and it's not any kind of major deal. Hi kids, come on. There you go. All right, there you go. You're all right. All right, girls. All right. I know, babe. I know. All right. All right, mama. Let's go. Come on. Come on. You're all right. There you go. Come on. There you go. Come on. All right. Here we are. So now I'm going to move back around, put a little squeeze on her. Hi, babe. I don't have to do a lot. I'm not trying to hurt her or anything like that. It just actually, you'd be surprised that it actually makes them a little more comfortable, to be honest. There you go, Ben. All right. All right. Now we got her held. Hi, babe. Here, I'll get you a treat. I'll get you a cookie. So now while she's in the chute, I'm just going to grab her cookie. This again will help reassure her that everything's okay. We're not here to hurt her. We're not trying to cause her any harm. And I would say that that is perfect. That is literally right at 1,000, 1,020. And that is almost exactly what I would expect them to be. Okay, so that was, boy, I would say that was spot on as far as weight was. What I had to do was recalibrate it with my weight a little bit more forward, because these guys with their head forward, there's more weight on the front load cells than on the rear. So we'll see how that does for this one here. Hi, babe. Here, you want a cookie? Here. You're not going to eat it. You're just going to take it in your mouth. All right. All right, sweetheart. All right, so I need you to go now. Let's go. There you go. Good girl. So now you can see how quickly they just load right up here. All right, we're going to give them one more run through right here. We're going to get 0. So something I found with this scale is that I need to make sure that the doors are going to be in the position that they will be when I'm weighing the animal. If I've got them shifted to one side or the other, or a door open, it's going to transfer some of that load onto the load cells a little differently. So it'll be off. Like it was just off by about 20 pounds because I had that sliding door open. It basically transferred the weight. So that leg was showing, that load cell was showing there was about 20 pounds on it, and I can't have that. Not that 20 pounds is a huge deal. We're not trying to be overly super specific, but what we are trying to do is get somewhat a good idea. Within 25 pounds is plenty, but all right, we'll run this heifer back through again. All right, mama. All right, babe. You're all right. You're all right. Come on. There you go. Come on. There you go. There you go. All right. And I'm not sure if you can tell, but overall, she's actually settling down quite a bit this time through. The first couple times she was running and that kind of thing towards the gate, trying to get out. And now she's just kind of walking forward and just going through that direction. So I got a couple cookies in my hand. I'll give those to her in a minute. All right, we'll give her a couple cookies. There you go, Mama. There you go. There you go. Turn it a little bit here. There you go, Mama. Here you are. There you are. Okay. All right, Mama. Here you go. All right. Let's see what it shows again. And again, that is literally right on 1030. That's very close to what I would expect. So I feel that that's good. We'll give her a cookie. We'll open her up and let her go out again. Okay, I'm going to close this. Make it a little more narrow. I'm just going to verify it's zeroed right now. Hopefully, hopefully with the location of the camera, Mama doesn't knock it over, but we'll see. Mama's a little distraught because her baby's not there again. I'm going to squeeze this just a little bit more. Okay. Hi, babe. Hi, sweetheart. All right, come on, let's go. There you go. You're all right. Hi, kids. So again, this is beneficial because it's helping that calf learn the system. It's not hurting them in any way. No, 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 Mom, miss. No, no, little miss. Okay, so I'm going to put a little more squeeze. Then I'm going to open that front. There you go, babe. Okay, I'm going to close that again. Come on, move forward. All right. There you go. Okay, while she's in here, I'm going to give her the cookies like I did Mama. So she will recognize that this isn't something that's going to kill her. There you go, babe. There you go. You're not going to eat it because you're so distraught, huh? There you go. And she is weighing 360. So that is almost exactly what I would expect from her. There you go. And so I would say that this thing is working perfectly. So we'll open this up. We'll let those guys out. There you go. And I would say that we've had a very successful little operation here. The scale is working perfectly. It's every bit of what I would hope for. That was exactly what I needed to see right there. So now I can run a couple of calves through, and what I'm going to do is work those others through there and just kind of get an idea of what they weigh. I have an idea of what they're going to weigh. I'd expect the smaller one to weigh somewhere around 550, and I would expect the other one to weigh somewhere around 650. Maybe 500 and 650, right in the ballpark right there. And to be honest, any of that is that's plenty good. So I'm going to try to work those through here one at a time, and we'll see what we got. One thing I would like to talk about really quickly is I've reviewed this AeroQuip already. I've showed the ease of use and that kind of thing. What I would like to point out is I just worked those guys through there by myself. Single man operation, and I put cows through there. I put them through there 3 times now, no problem whatsoever. I can close gates directly behind them. It's no problem. Super easy to work with. This AeroQuip, I realize it's quite a bit more money, but to be honest, there's not a system out there that I think that I could operate by myself and work cows by myself. So this has been exceptionally easy, and just shows the ease of use of this AeroQuip. You know, I've got the lead up panels, I've got the alleyway there and the squeeze, and it just works magnificent. So it's really super beneficial to me. So the little heifer that had been in there with this steer figured out how to open that other gate, and so she's not in there any longer. So all I have is this steer to run through. I would expect he weighs somewhere about, let me get a look at him. I bet he weighs somewhere about 650. So we're about to find out. We're gonna just run him through. Oh, settle. Come on. There you go. Come on. There you go. Squeeze him just a little bit. I'll open the head gate for him. I gotta move this camera back or he will run into it. All right, let's open this head gate. There you go, bud. Come on. Come on, bud. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll leave that just partially open. And I'll give him a little pat back here. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Come on. Okay. So this is again another good aspect of this AeroQuip is I can slide this handle back, pat him here. Come on. Come on. Come on. There you go. Come on. So I slid the handle back where I could give him a little pat on the rump and move him forward, but still operate the head gate. I expect him about 750. Settle down, bud. And he is settle. Right at about 750. So that's really good. I'm really happy with it. I'm very satisfied. So we're trying to finish on a strong point. Here you go, mama. There you are, sweetheart. There you go. We're gonna try to give one to Babe here. There we go. All right. So we finish up strong here on a positive, and we're back to where we were. So it's going to be pretty much the end of my video today. There's really not much more. I'm going to just take a look quickly at the calves, and I'm going to go wash this beehive out. I may kind of show you the type of beehive I've got and the reason we like that. Hi, little kid. Hi, babe. Hi, little babe. But I'm just going to kind of I think I'll probably hold that until another video, probably the day or two before I get the bees in. We'll go over the type of beehive we've got. We'll show you introducing the bees and all of that. So I think that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, or if you're getting anything out of my content, please do me a favor. Hi, mama. Please do me a favor and like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I really look forward to your comments, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.